Good morning, Bucknutters. Maybe it's good afternoon at this point, but that's all right. I am Dave Biddle. Welcome to the Bucknuts Morning 5, and thrilled to welcome back our special guests, Cardale Jones and Brian Schottenstein, the founders of The Foundation. Gentlemen, welcome back to the show. Great to see both of you.
Thanks for having us on, Dave.
Oh, yeah, appreciate it, man. And for people who maybe this coming up, because I know how we see the screen, it got me under Brian and him under Cardale. I'm Cardale, he's Brian.
Just in case anybody's confused, Cardale's on the left.
Okay.
But between the two of us, we have a national championship at Ohio State.
There you go. Yep. I don't think anybody's going to confuse you guys as twins, so I think we're all right. All right. So first of all, the merger, I'm going to start with the merger with the O Foundation. How did that come about, and how's that going so far?
So we always wanted to do a merger with them just because we felt it made sense. We both had our same goals aligned, and our main goal is to help Ohio State football and basketball student athletes. And we were already doing a lot with both football and basketball, and they were focused just on basketball. So it just kind of made sense to come together, and they're all going to be underneath our brand, The Foundation, but we've merged boards and we're going to be one group now. So we're really excited about it.
Yeah, I think that's fantastic. All right. I want to promote your spring festival on April 20th. This is going to be fantastic. You guys are having your spring festival at the Schott. April, I believe it's Thursday, April 20th. Ryan Day's going to be there. Chris Holtman's going to be there. A bunch of elite Ohio State athletes are going to be there. $125 a person if you want to attend. There's also a $10,000 table sponsorship. You'll get to sit with an Ohio State athlete. Tell the people more about that. It's such a cool event.
Well, we're really excited about this event. I think it's going to be the best Buckeye event of all time. We have, like you said, we have both coaches there, 30 athletes, both former and current. And a lot of the starters on the team are going to be there, both on offense and defense. The band, the cheerleaders. It's $125 for a ticket or $10,000 for a table. And this is really Buckeye Nation's chance to step up and donate to the foundation. Everything is tax deductible, and it goes and helps out the student athletes both on football and basketball. And as a fan, you can say you help support them, which is really important in today's world with NIL.
Yeah, and Cardale, get into how fans can help in addition to the Spring Festival. Obviously, they can get on thefoundationohio.com, thefoundationohio.com, and donate. Cardale, how else can fans help?
I think that's the number one thing is just supporting not just the foundation by donating, but coming out and spreading the word and being a part of this. This is something that we spent a lot of time on kind of orchestrating and really planning. And we wanted to say, hey, we want to do something to get the masses an opportunity to support and to get out and say, hey, they hard-earned money went to the foundation that ultimately went to the student athletes. And like Brian mentioned, it's all a tax write-off. And, it's giving them people opportunity to really up close and personal time to see how we operate, who we really are, and getting to know these players. I know it's hard to really get a feel for who someone is in a short 3.5 hour window, but I'm pretty sure people are going to walk away from that event April 20th at the Schott and say, you know what? They're doing it the right way. These players are great. The foundation is great. How can I get involved? How can I support?
Yeah, it's fantastic, and we'll continue to promote it. For those that don't know, we have a partnership. Bucknuts has a partnership with The Foundation, which we're very excited about. So
we appreciate that.
Yeah,
thanks so much to 24/7 Sports and Bucknuts for everything they do for The Foundation. It's a great partnership, and we really appreciate your support.
Yeah, it's it just makes so much sense. We all want the same thing. So it makes sense that we're all on the same team here. I'm curious about this. We're about on the 2-year anniversary of you guys taking the bull by the horns. No one was really doing anything with NIL. And then you guys did all the stuff. You came up with the idea. You got the bill passed. You had the ceremony with Governor DeWine and all that. I don't think I've ever asked you this. Like, what was the genesis of the idea? I mean, obviously you wanted to help Ohio State athletes, but like, did one of you call each other? Like, how did it?
That's the funny. You know what? That's the funny part about it. I think we're almost on 2 years on the total NIL has been around in college athletics, but we're coming up on a year mark for us as The Foundation as an entity itself. And it came up. Brian just gave me a call, and I let him talk about it more. I'm pretty sure that you started to see towards, I think, right around, I want to say spring ballish, you saw other universities trying, or other collectives or other representatives of universities trying to do this for their universities. And Brian had a great idea by saying, hey, why don't we do this for Ohio State? You know, we both love Ohio State. We go to many games together. His family, you really can't mention Ohio State without, you know, a few big names, and the Schottenstein family is one of them. So, you know, he reached out to me and I made this public, and I said I wouldn't have done this with anyone else, a former player or booster, or whatever you want to call anyone other than Brian, to that relationship we had built to that point. So that's how it happened. I don't know where he got the crazy idea from, other than his love and passion for Ohio State athletics. But I only jumped on him because he was like, you know, hey, let's do it. I think we can make it great. And I said, you know what, you're right.
So there's probably days Brian regrets doing it, but we're glad that.
So that's pretty much how it got started. You know, I was talking to some people, you know, at Ohio State and just kind of seeing what other schools were doing. And I was like, we can't not have something like this in place, or we're going to get left behind. So, you know, I just started researching it. I saw what some of the schools in the South were doing. And, you know, both Cardale and I, when we first testified, we were never going to get involved personally with NIL. We just did it because we felt it was the right thing to do at the State House when they passed the bill for the student athletes. And then just one day, I'm actually on my honeymoon, to tell you the truth, right after I got married. And I put out this tweet that I'm going to start this, all excited about it. We got our nonprofit, and the tweet went viral, got like 2 million impressions. I called Cardale up. I'm like, we got to do this now. Like, it's out there. Like, I have to stay true to my word.
So he forced me.
But neither of us knew it was going to be like a full-time job and costing us a ton of money and time. But it's really a good cause, and where we do love giving back to both not only the Ohio State players on football and basketball, but also the community, because every single deal we do with these athletes, they're doing charitable work as well. So it's a really win-win all around.
I love it. Yeah, like I've said from the beginning, I mean, Buckeye fans, I think, owe you guys a debt of gratitude, because you guys were the first ones to take the bull by the horns and say, we've got to do something about this. And without you guys, I mean, people would be sitting there saying, like, why aren't people stepping up? Why aren't, like, the big money boosters stepping up? Why aren't former players stepping up? And here you guys are stepping up, and you were the first ones to do it. So kudos to you. A few more questions. Now, some of these are from fans. Foxstar 2001 is a Bucknut subscriber, has a couple I think are good questions. He's just asking for rough estimates here, not exact numbers. Roughly how many NIL deals has the foundation brokered with Ohio State football and basketball players? Like, what's a rough number of?
Well, I wouldn't say brokered. When you thinking of broker, you're thinking of third parties, entities, and we're the middleman. We have our own criteria, in-house criteria. We have our own structure. So every deal isn't on behalf of another brand, but we do have an aspect within the foundation that we can do that. But for the majority of our deals, and I think we've done close to 40. When we say 40, we're talking about with 40 different student athletes. I want to say roughly 35 of them have been all in-house deal, as far as the money we raise with the foundation to student athletes to get involved and to help them bridge that gap with our charitable partners. And then we had some deals last year with DSW, American Eagle, Value City, where they came to us directly to pretty much donate to us. And with a large amount that they donated, they were able to handpick the student athletes they wanted to do marketing opportunities with. On top of the student athletes, still have to get involved with our charitable partners. So that was the rare instance where we kind of brokered a deal. We're not opposed to that when it comes to corporate level things and stuff like that, because we had a very good time and made sure that the student athlete and the brands had a great experience with those. But for the most part, every dollar that we raise in-house, through our criteria with the foundation, we allocate funds and opportunities to the student athletes.
But even on that deal, it's not a broker deal. Like, we're not taking any sort of fee or commission or anything. Right. So every dollar we raised from that one deal, $550,000, went straight to the 4 student athletes. So that just shows, like, we're really, just trying to help and give back to the student athletes. We're not doing it for anything but that. Also, I want to mention, in our first year, not only did we help out 40 student athletes, which I would say 32 of them were on football and 8 on basketball, but just to create this brand, like you talked about in the beginning, like with no marketing dollars, hardly, very little marketing dollars we've spent, and just trying to keep a real low overhead so that our donors know that the money that goes to the foundation is going to go to the student athletes, and then they're going to do charitable work in return. But our brand is really well known. I think we were ranked one of the top collectives in the country. It's all nonprofit, and we really appreciate the support from the donors and the student athlete partners that we work with, because they're trying to help too, because they know every time they do a tweet or a post about us, not only are they helping themselves, but they're helping their teammates as well. And it's really important that anyone that's a Buckeye fan and wants to say that they helped support Ohio State football and basketball to attend our event, buy tickets, thefoundationohio.com, because everybody can talk and say, that maybe we're behind in NIL, which I don't believe that we really are, but you can talk, but what are you actually going to do to help? And we need your help, whether it's donating money or volunteering your time. We appreciate everything you can do to help Buckeye Nation.
Yeah, thanks for that explanation, and I'm glad you hit on that. Because fans want to know, how is Ohio State overall stacking up against some other programs in NIL? Seems to be like the tide has turned, so to speak, or maybe the narrative was just wrong all around. Get into that, both of you, if you would. Do you feel like Ohio State in the NIL game is stacking up well against some of the other powerhouse programs across the country?
I mean, it's tough to speak on what other collectives are doing for their respective universities. I mean, some you hear stories, and it's all just stories and accusations. What one collective may be offering a kid to go to a university and stuff. We're not going to get in that dirty game of really tampering with recruits. So, some of the things that I know we both got heat on social media when Ohio State towards the end of the season was quote unquote losing recruits, and people thinking it was all NIL based. NIL is a huge factor of college athletics, not just with football, but it's not the number one factor. These kids are still going to universities for a lot of other reasons that they may think is greater there versus in a place like Ohio State. Yeah, NIL is a factor, but it's not like, hey, if Ohio State don't get a recruit, a 5-star guy, well, the collectives wasn't going to do a great job of paying them, or his NIL valuation wasn't going to be high enough at that university. So there's a lot of misleading information when it comes to surrounding NIL. But do I think Ohio State and the foundation is putting ourselves in position to be very competitive in the NIL world once student athletes get here on campus and once student athletes are a part of these programs? Yes. And I think we're doing a great job and doing our part to our best ability of having a say-so in that determining factor.
And also I can say Cardale has been a very big help. And when it comes to attracting these quality student athletes to come on football and basketball, really, his time and his effort is invaluable with what he's done for Ohio State. And, it's just nice to see that. We wish a lot of the former players would step up, but I'm really impressed with what Cardale has done to make sure that we're successful. And you can see that, we had a top 5 recruiting class in the NIL world. I thought that was pretty good compared to what it could have been if the foundation wasn't in place.
Yeah. And not to take too much credit away from, the coaches over there at, Coach Holman's staff and Coach Dave's staff are doing an unbelievable job of recruiting these players. Like I said before, me and Brian and the foundation is just here to feel, another aspect of why these kids are picking a university. It's no longer, it's the facilities, the coaches, the track record of sending guys to the next level, the support of the locals, the hometown and things like that. And now NIL is a part of that as well, and we're just trying to do our part.
And the coaches have been very supportive of the foundation. Coach Holtman, Coach Day, they've publicly endorsed us, tweeted about us. But it's just really the beginning. We need more support, not only from the fans and businesses in the Columbus community, but also from the university. We really need their support. Hopefully, it's heading in that direction. But everything's kind of new, and I think they're just kind of waiting to really put all their hands on deck for this. And I think hopefully it'll head in that direction.
Yeah, I love that you guys are all working together, meaning like, you know, the staff. I think a good way of putting it is like Ohio State staff might get the ball inside the 5, then you guys push the ball over the goal line for the touchdown.
We try to. I think we try to.
Cardale pushes it over.
Yeah. I was going to say this. Yeah, Cardale pushes it. Cardale will take the nose guard from Oregon and push him back. I don't know if I like that better or if I liked it when you trucked Landon Collins, but whatever. We're not going to pick between great moments. But seriously, Cardale, you are a great ambassador for this, just because of the great story at Ohio State, and you're larger than life, and then you just have so much. You're so charismatic and have such a great personality. So you're just a great ambassador for something like this. A couple more things will get you guys out of here. So Coach Day mentioned last year, overall, not just from you guys, they need to raise $13 million a year just to retain their players. What are your thoughts about that? And do you think that's a reasonable goal?
I think if you look at Ohio State and you look at the money they're able to raise when it comes to facilities, when it comes to anything depending on the athletic department. I mean, I think they were they came out trying to do a $200 million renovation and raise on the football facility. And to take a very small portion of that and find a way to get some of that $200 million directly to their student athletes, because at the end of the year, you got the transfer portal and you got other schools / collectives are going to be poaching guys. And that's the way college athletics is right now. It sucks. Is it fair? No, because I think Nick Saban just made a public comment of saying how the bigger schools with the big money are going to, continue to dominate the recruiting world because of NIL, because of their boosters and things maybe getting behind them directly with an NIL collective versus them overall as a university or donate to a facility, right? Because now if I know my money is going towards that top 5-star guy or this 3-year starter at another Power 5 school in the transfer portal, I'm going to try to go help get that guy, because that person is going to ultimately help me win some football games. So that's the tough part about it. I think is reasonable, but I think, it's going to come from more than one entity of the NIL world when it comes to the foundation. But I think it's definitely reasonable and can get to that point. Because like I said before, the transfer portal is real, and you're going to have guys getting poached, starting probably from week 10 to the end of the season, for other universities.
But you have to look at how successful we've been so far keeping players too. And,
right.
So compared to Texas A&M and some of those other programs where they're losing 15, 20 guys, we're not even close to that. So that's another success that we've had in our first year as, the foundation.
Yeah, Marvin Harrison was talking a lot about that yesterday when we were chatting with him about, teams trying to put – I mean, he was coy about it. He didn't say it. He's like, well, they'd have to go through my father. And he's like, I was never going anywhere anyway, so it didn't really matter. He's kind of laughing at some of the rumors. But, all right, guys, fans out there, if you want to help, thefoundationohio.com, thefoundationohio.com. We also have a link all over Bucknuts, so thefoundationohio.com. And don't forget about their spring festival on April 20th. We will keep promoting that. Cardale Jones on the left, Brian Schottenstein on the right, just to clarify it. Thank you so much, gentlemen. I appreciate you guys coming back on the show and spreading the knowledge and all the good work you guys are doing.
Thanks, Dave.
Appreciate it. Thanks for having us.
Go Bucks.
Go Bucks. There we go. All right. Well,